All right, ladies and gentlefolk, zealots, zerglings, marines, get excited because we have Classic in the bottom right side of the map. The man that we don't get to see face off against with Clem too often. Clem in the top left, it is the WardiTV 2025 lower bracket semifinals. Clem for Team Liquid. And guys, as Classic teamless right now, why has he not got a clan tag next to him? Clem has the Liquid in the name, so that he can still be part of his casual clan. Instead, he just changes the name of the account. But Classic, is he teamless right now? If so, that's crazy. I know he was on Twisted Minds before. Maybe someone could look that one up for me. Let me know. Gateway Gas is there. It's the classic Pig introduces players without actually checking, and then goes, "What the heck? Is he not on Twisted Minds anymore?" You guys let me know. Double gas for Clem to start the series. Classic down here. Big question I was talking about before we started this series. Does he open Storm or Colossus? Max is spamming Storm every game at the moment. He'll go Colossus later. I don't know what Hero's doing. I feel like Hero's always mixing things up, but a bit more Storm focused in general. And I haven't seen too much of Classic's PvT recently, so I'm so curious to see what style he's going to play here. Probe harass off the Gate Scout. Nothing too ambitious here. Depot even blocks him from chasing inside. Nexus will go down after Cybercore. Pretty conservative opening. Notice Classic has pulled one worker off minerals onto gas. I like to get two workers on the gas as quickly as possible, but the third one I'm always a bit torn about. I'm always like, should you just have 16 on minerals? Because the third worker only mines a little bit less efficiently. I mean, it's still mostly efficient on the gas, to be fair. Reaper Factory is on the way. 3 workers pulled off gas, which tells us Clem with this SCV will go build the command center when that depot is finished. And it's going to be a reactor right after the Reaper. Now, is Clem going to mix in any tank pushes as well? Because he feels like you need to do an early tank all-in at least once in a series to get a Protoss's attention, get their respect. He's not going to try and hide the command center. Just going to build it right there. Float it down as quickly as possible. It is actually a bit further back, so if the Adept Shade goes there, it still won't see it. Only if an Adept goes to the ramp and actually lets the Shade finish. Reaper bouncing around. Sentries on the way. The battery coming up in the main and the natural. Oh, this is the classic response, guys. You go double gas, I play double shield battery into like just a whole bunch of gateway units. Safest play you could possibly play. Now, Hellion Drop doesn't care as much about shield batteries. You can go Hellion Drop against this, but I think knowing that he's such a sentry stan, probably a good idea. Oh, he's going to get a probe. Oh, that's huge. And he can actually maybe get another one. Oh, the force field doesn't block it. 2 probes. Good start for Clem. Bit of a blunder for Classic. He's now going home with his Adapt. Oh, we don't. No. He needs 2 more hit points. He can get out. Oh, the sentry could have got him there, maybe. Why is he turning around to attack there, guys? You know the shields are going to regenerate. Only Clem turns around to shoot that Adept. And you might be wondering why. The technique here is called giving your opponent the middle finger. He's like, I'm not running away from you, just so you know. Like, it's kicking your opponent in the shins and then running away. Like, it's just spite. And that really sums up Clem's micro in StarCraft, isn't it? Like, he will just micro that little bit extra to get that tiny bit of damage just to spite you. Just to let you know he means business. Oh, a bit slow on the reaction, which means he will lose the Reaper there. Oh, that Reaper mid-air gets blasted by the Sentry Stalker. Widowmine drops a good choice against Classic because, of course, Widowmines don't care about shield batteries. And this is going to be a 4-gate blink with no robo. He's going to have to use the hallucination for the high ground. Widowmine's going for the drippy droppies. Interference Matrix is on the way as well, interestingly. Oh, he's going to do a burrow unburrow. Oh, that's actually so annoying. Gets 2 probes there. Does lose 1 Widowmine, but 3 probes and a good 20-30 seconds of mining time. It's great damage. Problem is he doesn't have a tank out yet, guys. Classic sees that this factory wants to swap off that tech lab. Okay, so basically Clem was banking on Classic playing a very defensive game. He's now seen 4 gateways. He's lifting the factory off and he's not even building Marauders. Okay, Clem's just not looked at his scouting. He was so busy microing, he didn't realize it's a 4th gateway. It's blatantly obvious he's about to get pushed by Mass Stalker, and he's doing nothing to deal with it. Now, to be fair, it's only 6 Stalkers. Classic's just trying to recover his economy here. Classic, I mean, Clem's whole build is made to punish a greedy Protoss, but holy crud, he's not paying any attention. He goes for auto turret harassment here as well. It was not actual interference matrix, it was just a fake upgrade, by the way. He will lose his stim. These Stalkers only getting the stim cancel and 2 Marines, honestly, not nearly as much as you'd like. If Clem gets away with going immediately to stim, shields, medevac production, he's going to be so far ahead in this game. Classic, I don't really think of Classic as a particularly fast multitasker. I think of Classic as just a guy who's a bit better at planning than the other players. I think of him almost as like the Protoss Shin, if that makes sense, but obviously better at late game than Shin, though that could be more a factor of Protoss late game and Zerg late game being. Obviously, Protoss late game is generally a bit more attractive than Zerg late game for most players. I can already hear someone getting angry at me for that comment. There's always like a really delusional player who's like, no, Protoss late game's the hardest. It's just not. Don't lie. Don't get me wrong. If you're several levels, Zerg late game's god tier, but Terran late game's also god tier if you're Clem tier. But I feel like for most Protoss players, Storm, carriers, that sort of stuff, pretty nice and smooth to use. PvT late game though, that's the other big question we have today in this matchup. Clem's late game has been unstoppable from MaxPack's hero. These guys have looked actually like awful low tier players against Clem's late game. Classic is the one guy one would expect to be a little bit better at that stuff. Good denial on mining time. Yeah, Classic handles it okay, but his work account just sucks. But yeah, long story short is Classic is one of our hopes of someone who might actually be able to show how to play late game. Then again, I don't really think he'll want it to go that late. Oh, nice deny on combat shields. Almost gets a tank as well. Letting this observer see everything a bit sloppy here for Clem, I gotta say, guys. Those Stalkers, they're gonna jump back in, go after that tank. It's a bit dangerous. He's gonna go after the second tech lab now. The tank's gonna siege up in range. We'll get 1 or 2 shots off. Those Stalkers, though, taking out the tech lab. It's a combat shieldless stim push. Still a very scary push and still probably worth committing since there's only 1 Colossus. Doesn't even have a second Colossus making right now. He's making extended thermal lance, 3 sentries in charge, no second Colossus. Classic so behind from the opening. But dude, Clem shoving towards a ramp, a very dangerous choice. Incredibly dangerous choice. The Colossus are going to start shaving off units. The Guardian Shield and the Force Field will be big. He gets the Raven! Massive engagement with the Raven. Force Field sticking up the whole army. And the SCVs have been pulled into a Colossus, which is usually not a good choice. The Force Field's trapping a bunch of those units. They're going to go down up there. The Colossus could be massive against these SCVs. The tank and the Marauders need to focus it. Oh, he gets clicked on though. The Stalkers take out the tank, but the bio stims forward. And there's so much firepower on that bio. Can it deal with his Stalkers blink to the left? The tank sieging up was a bit of a weird choice there, but they actually get a few good shots and a repair. And Classic goes down. Bizarre game 1. Odd game 1. I think Clem did so much damage with the Widow Mine drop. The Reaper getting 2 kills. Classic's economy felt really rough. But then just completely disrespecting any threat of blink counter. There is so much you need to understand about what this tells you about both players' mindsets in this series. Okay guys, so a safe build, you're meant to build 2 tanks. Have a tank here, have a tank here. If you think it's 4-gate, which we know it was, even though there's no robo, admittedly there's no prism, so it's not as stiff of a 4-gate, but if it was a 4-gate with a prism, you'd have 2 bunkers there, you'd build a 3rd, maybe a 4th tank, you'd maybe even put a bunker in the main. He completely skipped tanks. So Clem has basically said, I know you're going to play very defensive with the batteries. Widow Mines can still distract you, do damage, scout what you're up to. He sees 4 gates, doesn't adjust his build at all. He's just like, yeah, you don't have a robo, you're not going to do anything. He's basically pinned Classic as a defensive player. So he's trying to take advantage of that by just skipping the tanks and going straight to the stim bio. Yes, he ends up building a couple tanks later on, but he gets to the stim bio so early, and the earlier you get to stim, combat shields +1 medevacs, that's the scary zone for Protoss, because normally Protoss gets map control, Stalkers versus Marines and the like, unless the Terran invests in a lot of Reaper Hellion or a few Marauders with Concussive or something like Cyclones, which are all things they don't really want to build at the start of the game. And then Blink kicks in, Protoss has even more map control to the point where even if you've got any of those things we talked about, Protoss just controls the map with Blink, dominates the map. But then when Stim Shields and Medevacs kick in, Terran takes map control. If you hit that Stim Medevac moment 2 minutes earlier than normal, it's really hard for Protoss to defend the drops, the third base, all this sort of stuff. Very greedy build for CLEM. And honestly, part of me is kind of pained that Classic let him get away with it. If Classic went with 10 Stalkers, I think he just wins this game. But of course, with no forward warp in point, he doesn't really have the setup to do anything except a small poke, snipe the Stim, get in, get out, which is useful, but it's not that much damage. And for a guy who's already lost 7 workers and doesn't have a third started at almost 5.5 minutes, it's just a bad situation to find yourself as Classic. Really good game 1 for CLEM. All right, going into game 2, guys. Could Classic have saved it if he gave up that third is the discussion in the live chat right now. I think I agree he may have been able to save that game. Blinking the Stalkers to snipe the tank, running up to defend the third, unnecessary. He saw the SCVs had been pulled, and yeah, you just defend your 2 base, re-expand to the other side, and you just want to stutter step backwards and try to survive there. He'd already used a lot of his force fields, but with charge zealots coming in as well, I think Classic made a bit of a misstep, because I think getting the Stim was good, getting the shields as well was good. Like, he had kind of delayed Clem's push a bit, shaved off a lot of units down the ramp. Classic went from a terrible early game situation against Clem to potential hold. Clem does come out on top. Clem going to play more double gas? The answer is no. That SCV would have rallied over onto this. Take a second gas if he was planning on doing the double gas. But now that he's kind of done the double gas, got some damage, he's going to play a 1-Rex expand, a bit more of a quote-unquote normal build order. Gateways there as well. Should only be using Blink to retreat your units, never to go forwards against an all-in like that. Oh, very rarely to go forwards. There are rare cases if you blink on like the rally. You know, the army moves past you, say a tank push is coming down here, your Stalkers blink on a siege tank rallying in from behind. That could be cool. One of the things I always get lost in is how good the camera work is in these games. It's not NFL style where you have 20 cameramen, it's one guy putting the visual up. Yeah, and I'm talking about the game as well. I appreciate it. I do miss a lot more things than you would in a professional broadcast usually, but I think I do pretty good. It's also really nice being able to control the camera because there's so much happening so quickly, and there's a lot of questions I have about what the players see and stuff, so I can kind of show you. Like here, like Clem doesn't see any of the map, whereas Classic's played is really standard safe. Probe scouts after gateway, checks for proxy, goes for Stalker. He went Cybercore before Nexus as well. Ultimately safe build order. But Clem, he's gone for a bunker with a Marine. He gets a really quick factory with this opening. And I think he just goes straight Tech Lab. The question for me is tank first, right? Hellion, Starport, and then Tech Lab, and then Siege Tank. Do you think he could do a tank push off this? I mean, off 2 commands, and his tank pushes aren't nearly as common. Off of a 1-Rex expand. Normally more common off a 2-gas opening. Pig, you get paid to broadcast, therefore you're a professional commentator? Yes, and a McDonald's employee is a professional food connoisseur expert, you know? The fine dining chef tossing those burger patties. Stalker using its shields there to get some free damage on the bunker when it only had 1 Marine in it. Pretty nicely done. Of course, now it's got 3 Marines in it. You can't do too much more of that. You might be wondering, why doesn't Clem repair it? He just didn't want to waste the resources early on, but he's like, probably should get it healthy again. Hellion's going to try to escape for his scout usually, but the Adept and the Stalker are actually keeping him pinned. Sentry comes out as well. Alright, guys. I'm not quite asking, do you want fries with that? Oh, he's going to commit. He says, hey, can't resist an orange hit point SCV. I don't think Clem lets him kill another one. Clem pulls away the weak ones. And that Adept will go down. Getting the Adept for 1 SCV, this is no problem for Clem. Even though the Adept's kind of a garbage unit as the game goes on, it's totally fine. Does he wait for 2 more Marines? Yeah, he's going to wait for 1 more Marine and then go. Alright, Medevac goes for a drop. He's going to go drop the natural. Third Nexus up really quickly. Guys, he's gone 2-gate third. No, wow. Okay, very greedy opening. I love it. like a 3-minute 40 third base. And his Stalker Sentry, like, knows exactly where the drop's coming. What the hell, man? Map hacks! Oh my gosh, map hacks. I think Classic's seen him do this exact build before, and on this exact map. I think he just watched a replay before this series started, and he's like, you know what? I've got good vision on the right side. This is actually the most vulnerable base. He's building a pylon up here. There was a hole here where the medevac could have come through that right side, but he just knew this was the most vulnerable area, and that's the most direct path to get into his natural. Good call by Classic. I'm obviously joking about the map hacks comment, guys. Banshee's on the way. 3 barracks. Once again, no tanks. This is what's really good about Clem's play against Classic. Problem. Classic's already going like third base charge. A lot of gateways. 6 gates before Forge. That's wild, man. Classic's a hater of armor upgrades, I'm pretty sure. Armor upgrades on Master Zealot is king. But top players prefer to get damage for their Blink Stalkers and then for their Colossus transition. Banshee's just waiting. Dude, does he not know about the, Did he spot the cloak? He did spot the cloak, so he knows it's coming. So the Banshees, I think Clem's going to do a Maru. So this is what you do, guys. You go send the Banshees down here, and you leave them there for like 7 minutes. Don't even send them in. No, he's clicking them past the pylon. Ah, he's going to go poke in. I remember Maru did this thing, like, I'm talking 2017, 2018. Maru on Acid Plant, where his Banshees got scouted, and at the time we thought Banshees were only good if it surprises your opponent. And he just hid them on the side of the map, and then like 10 minutes later, they killed 47 probes. Like, it was actually so funny. The game got really scrappy, and it was like at this moment when the game was at peak scrappiness, where he's like, that thing that I've hidden in the corner of the map this whole time that you've forgotten about now, it's go time. And the Banshees just came in from the corner and started just wreaking havoc, and the Protoss is like already dealing with other things, and he's like, ah, what the hell? I forgot about those. It was really funny. I was like, damn, man. He had to wait a long time to get the payoff on the investment, but he did get it. Oh, the observers actually didn't micro correctly there, letting the Banshees both escape. Stim Bio, moving down that right side. Medevacs are going to join up with those. You can see just how early the stim pressure is going to be, but it's mass blink. 14 Blink Stalkers, 1 Sentry. Does armor help Colossus against Vikings? 100%. Yes, it does. Remember, it stops each of the Vikings' attacks, 1 damage each. So if something has 2 attacks, you could actually argue armor's even more effective against it. Widowmine and Marine goes down. Only 3 probe losses. Sick hold so far, but this is a good fight for Clem. Oh, this is a good fight for Clem. It's only a part of his army, but I don't think he can actually win the game here. Clem's got to be careful. He's got to unload that Medevac's accidentally loaded up here. The Banshee's left behind a little bit. Well, there's no detection here right now. He did scan to try to get rid of the Observer, but now the Observer comes down. Banshee will fall, and the Bio's overstim deep in Stalker Zealot territory. He needs to bring his reinforcements to try and save these guys. He's got to do a fighting retreat here. Pick off a Stalker or 2 would be nice when he blinks like that. He's also got to boost these Medevacs because you know he's going to blink and focus them. But if he does, you know Clem's ready to stim. Oh, Classic goes a bit too deep there. Yes, he gets the Medevac, but is his Prism Micro good enough to save these units? He's going to lose at least a few of them. Luckily for him, Concussive is not done just yet. And that Bio is overstimmed. Units lost tab at the end of it, not as bad as I thought it would be. Classic secures a 4th base. He has his first Colossus halfway done. He's got +1 weapons finished, extended Thermalance on the way, and he's about to remember +2 weapons. 3, 2, 1. Oh! Dude, I'm a wizard. Oh, Pig pre-watches these games and then writes down exact timers of upgrades so he can pretend he knows how to predict things. Nah, Classic's on point, man. He re-established map control, split a Prism to go to a counterattack, and then he just like got all of his ducks in a row. Second Forge is on the way as well. Really nice play here by Classic. He's going to go for a Prism drop into the main. These Zealots are going to try and pick up a few SCVs, but he did kind of misclick on the shift clicks. Luckily, the Widowmines do a bit of friendly fire to Clem's units, so they're going to be softened up for the future. These Zealots also not shift-clicked on the SCVs, so not the most effective. Widowmine Bio defending the front. Great Widowmine shot, but the Marine Marauder's got to stay away from that Colossus. That Colossus is a real threat. Oh, look at this! He goes for a Zealot Warping in the main. Mad Dog Classic just going hardcore right now. Bio is going to go for the Colossus. No, don't do that, Clem. That's crazy. Classic's going to take the top right base in the middle of this. The crazy guy realizing you're never going to expect that. That's really smart. Dangerous, but smart. +1 armor's coming in. Chronos it as well. Those last trades, that was beautifully defended by Clem. And now Clem is basically got to just dig in his defenses. 4th Command Center, double eBay Armory, which have been a bit delayed. I think his Ghost Academy's not down yet either. Yeah, I don't see a Ghost Academy. He's got an extra reactor in the main. Factories floating out the left side to watch for warp prisms. He'll build a second starport. He's just going to go get set up for late game. He's going to send a single medevac and a liberator in here, guys. This is what we call the smart man maneuver. I think the medevac's to scout, or it's just a misclick. I don't even know, man. We saw him send an empty medevac across earlier today as well. Oh, this base is so sick. Luckily, Classic's already started a Stargate, because this base just cannot mine now. Luckily, he already has a corner base as well. And he's taking this side. Dude, is Classic going to be the first player we see who actually knows how to play late game? Okay, so I'm sorry to put myself on screen, guys, but like, I know I've been complaining about Protoss players being a little bit low IQ in late game recently. Max in Hero. No, I love those guys, but they haven't been doing anything creative in late game. They'll get ahead in the mid game and they'll do nothing with it. This is Classic playing late game from behind, right? Look at the supply. He's not ahead. He's not ahead at all. Prism comes in, it gets shut down, but he's already thinking about expanding along the top right. And if he goes Storm, Tempest, I will get so excited. If he doesn't go Storm, Tempest, not quite as excited, but still, Classic, please do this for me, please. In a meta where Terran is clearly favored in late game fights, where Protoss players refuse to do anything except bash Zealot, Stalkers, and Colossus into the Terran, even when he has a maxed out army of 3/3 Ghosts and Liberators. Will one Protoss dare to use his brain? Sorry, guys. I love Classic. I love Protoss players, but I've just getting a bit frustrated watching players bash their head against Clem's wall in the late game. Classic's pretty far behind, so this is going to be a real uphill battle. But what we're looking for is not does this work, it's what are the ideas that he has. For now, we're still in the early late game where he's going 85 workers, right? He's going triple Robo Disruptor, so he's going to play Zealot Stalker Disruptor. He is going to add a Fleet Beacon behind as well, so he's thinking about the air transition potential. With no Psystorm, I think he's just going to play an early late game mass gateway Zealot Stalker Colossus style. Takes a few Widowmine hits, but he lands his first Disruptor, just clearing those Widowmines. Prism goes in the main. He has 2 Prisms on the map, remember. I love that he has 2 Prisms out here. And he's just going to kind of swarm Zealots in the back. Doesn't have much supply free, unfortunately. And keep trying to drop Disruptors on him on the front. This is really good. Oh, good Disruptor shot lands. Doesn't quite one-shot everything, but it does good damage. Stalkers pick off a Viking. He does try to get another Zealot Warp, and he has to cancel it there. The Viking will clean this up. Clem's defense is really good, but he got some damage. 9 SCVs go down, a Tech Lab as well. These are all useful little bits of damage. He's got another Prism on the right side already. How many gateways? 12. 12 gateways. 3-2 upgrades are almost there. 2-2 is going to be finished. We always talk about 2-2 being the point in the game where Terran does kind of take over a little bit. And just to be clear, as much as I make fun of the Protoss players, I do think Terran is very favored in late game with cheap Vikings and 125 hit point Ghosts. But I think there's plays you can make with that map control that Protoss gets in the mid game. That Prism dies to the Stim Bio and the turret over there. Picks off a few buildings. I mean, the unit's loss tab is not nearly as gross as we normally see at this stage, because he is kind of using multi-prong of Zealots and the Disruptors. He's got a Mothership and air weapons on the way. He needs to go Psystorm, though. If he wants to play Tempests and Carriers and stuff, Storm is a crucial late-game ability. It is the best late-game ability for dealing with Vikings, Medevacs, and Bio. It hits air and ground. So even though it's not as powerful as it once was, it does still have the radius of the sun. It's big area, big overall damage. And if we see an air transition without Storm, it's going to be really hard to make that work. Classic has a massive work account. But of course, like I said, he was behind in the supply in the mid-game. It's hard for him to find his way in right now. He's looking forward to the Stalker Disruptor. I love the way the Colossus stays back. EMP's getting peppered out there. It's only 8 Ghosts in this maxed out army for Clem. How many orbitals does he have? 4 orbitals as well. He's making +2 ship weapons. Caduceus, which is the energy upgrade, of course, for the medevacs. Trying to kill the sensor towers so that Classic can surprise him a little bit. Clem wisely repairs that. He starts building missile turrets everywhere as well, just to make sure Dark Templar can't get in, nothing like that. This Phoenix is going to sacrifice itself. It is a carrier transition, and a Templar Archives begins. Now, I've seen Classic, I normally think of as kind of the king of the early late game. We're going past early late game into late game, like end game. And I'm so curious how he plays this. Classic, normally, I haven't really seen him play like an Estrella level High Templar spready before. I've kind of seen him keep him clumped up. But if he can spread High Templar out and stuff, well, actually, he's playing carriers. He probably just wants to headbutt, to be fair. And that's not a bad style. If he can hide his carriers and get a whole bunch up, that would be amazing. He does have a double Cybercore. +1 AF's finished. He's got to make sure he starts +2. Meanwhile, more and more sensor towers. Clem's just playing the slowest, most patient game of all time. You gotta realize that Clem has like a 95% win rate once he gets to this stage of the game in the last few months. He's been out of this world, unstoppable at this stage. Sometimes Max Packs kind of makes it look kind of close, but very rarely wins. Does everyone agree that StarCraft 1 is a better soundtrack than SC2? Yeah. That's why I always listen to a mix of both, but with just the best tracks of SC2. Wings of Liberty is the best StarCraft 2 soundtrack. Terran soundtrack's the best from both games. But StarCraft 1 soundtrack, I don't know if it's nostalgia, but it makes me happy. Oh, Classic was going for a recall attack, but he gets scouted. The mothership does get EMP'd. Is he still going to go for that? No, he's going to recall it. Good move, good move. He recalls it. I love that Classic has already been mining these corners a little bit, but Clem, if he finds this base, which I don't think he'd have much of a reason to check for, because what psychopath takes that base this early? Oh, he finally finds it. Unfortunately, Classic didn't mine any of the gas, only the minerals. Uh-oh. You're going a bit too deep here, Clem. He should be scanning down here. He should have scanned to see where the army was coming from. Oh, he gets the disruptors. Only the shot on the right side connects. Grabs the stalkers and sentries as well. I think he's happy to take this trade as Clem. He's going to dive the south as well. Ooh, but there are carriers out. He needs to mass Vikings behind this. He has 3 starports and 8 barracks to reproduce on. He doesn't know about these bottom left bases. Max Cannon Battery trying to come up there right now. Clem's already ahead 1 game in this series. If he can seal the deal now, this would be excellent. He's going to get so much value. Oh, man. All the Robos and the Templar Archives. Not to mention, there's still some gas and minerals in this base he would have loved to mine. Oh, Stalkers are going to take out 2 full medevacs with the help of feedback. Classic makes him pay a bit of a price for it. Stalkers could get a bit more damage, but Classic's going to have to rebuild those bases. Clem with +3 ship weapons on the way. He is building a second armory. I was going to say, plating on those Vikings is a huge upgrade to be missing at this stage. Because you're going to have 2/2 carriers, and you're going to have only +3 Vikings, or maybe even a window with +2. Now, the trick is, you want to EMP the heck out of the Protoss army, and then your Vikings can just shift-click the carriers. But High Templars can land a Storm on the Vikings, or if the Terran's not really ready for a fight, the carriers can launch all the interceptors on, like, rocks or something, and then just throw them onto the Vikings as a surprise initiation. Remember, carriers have to be within 8 range to launch interceptors, but once the interceptors are out there attacking something, you can change targets to anything within 12 range to send the interceptors to a new target. This is something we've seen excellent micro of from basically randos on the ladder. Pros almost always mess up carrier micro though. Not always, but like you can tell they don't get a lot of practice with that leash range abuse where you throw it on rocks or on a friendly nexus or something, and then you retarget onto the Vikings. Because Vikings have 9 range, otherwise they outrange the carriers! And Clem says, see you, don't want to be ya! Gets 2 carriers for free, just like that. He's got the magic number of Vikings to one-shot those bad boys. Oh, that hurts. Nexus goes down, lots of probes falling. Classic doesn't have any gas right now, that's a real problem. He's got plenty of minerals for his interceptor rebuild, but Clem got a lot better against carriers after playing against a bunch of guys like, was it Genies, I think, beat him, or King Cobra? King Cobra beat him, wasn't it? It was King Cobra beat him in a tournament many years ago, back on the 2000 Atmospheres pool. Literally a guy who cannon rushed him and then went 2 macro nexuses so he could have extra chrono boost to get 3/3 air upgrades earlier. We're talking about like that level of player. The guy that beats you on the ladder, you look at their build order and you think this guy's actually an idiot. He beat Clem. Clem got so angry about that. I haven't seen him lose much to carriers since then. And the Vikings are cheaper than ever now as well. Should have plenty of scans. He's got 9 orbitals, which means map hacks are here for the Terran player. Stalkers come forward, get a good volley. Time Warp goes down. 1 carrier does fall though. EMP's landing across. Mama's taking some damage. Where are the scans? Okay, the scans are there, but he needs to keep scanning. Clem, a little bit slow on the extra scan. He's stutter stepping backwards. Very nice stutter step. Can he get a few volleys on these carriers now that the Protoss army is a bit strung out? Does take out another carrier. Really nice micro here for Clem. What does he want to rebuild though? If he could land some EMPs on those Vikings, it'd be good. The Colossus. Oh, the Vikings went a bit deep. The Viking count's dropping. Viking count's dropping. There's still 8 carriers. He's down to 12 Vikings. Clem needs to run. Clem needs to stop initiating and run right now. He needs to run and rebuild his army. The tail end of that fight was actually very scary for him. Because look, he's only killed 5 carriers. He's lost 11 Vikings. And he was already playing on the lower end of Vikings for how many units there are. Archons morphing. Now, Archons are basically dead weights against the EMPs. Clem also has mass turrets. This is what we call the insurance policy. If I lose a fight and you try to counterattack into my production, have fun fighting through this. Yeah. This is a player who's lost to SkyToss before by winning the game for 20 minutes and then losing 1 fight. And he does not want to let that happen ever again. But right now, he's lost track of the Protoss army. He sees it now. But his units are getting choked up by his own buildings. This command center needs to get out of the way. Zoning storms, man. On High Templar does get sniped. Command center is taking some damage. Scans going down. Vikings trying to pick off. Oh, good EMPs. Oh, a couple carriers go down really quickly. Really quickly. No point fighting the interceptors, really. There's too many of those. He does kill some of them, though. Guys, there's only 6 carriers here. Crazy push for Classic right now. He's picking off orbitals, which are valuable. Clem just needs to be patient and not eat Psystorm, though. And I think he will, long-term, be winning the game. Unless Classic can mine out all the corners. But Classic has not resaturated these forward bases. If he could take all 4 of the shared bases in the middle, that could go either way. If he was mining all 4 of these bases right now, I feel like I'd actually like Classic spot. But he's only on 50 probes. He kind of needs to be efficient right now, which seems like an impossibility. Big storm. Big storm. Clem does take a chipping of damage. A coat of paint comes off all of those Vikings. I can speak good. Vikings get the mother. Mama goes down. Stalker's coming forward right now. I think the Bio can just stand and fight, right? The Vikings gunning down that entire army. He needs to swap into Bio production. This is a transition into ground for Mr. Classic. And Clem just needs to run away and focus on ground units now. He's building more Vikings. He doesn't actually need those. He just needs, probably like a few libs could help on the ground, but mostly just Bio. So like a big Stalker Archon Disruptor High Templar army now. What in the schizophrenia is that wall of turrets? I told you, man, that's a guy who was touted as the greatest Terran in Europe at the time, and he lost to a guy who doesn't use control groups and only builds Cannon Rush into SkyToss every game and every matchup. He lost a best of 3 to King Cobra. The guy that Harstam used to unironically pay for coaching every single season of New Ladder to find where the best cannon spots were to cheese opponents in tournaments. Actually, was it Galsey or King Cobra that Harstam used to get coaching from years and years ago? I remember I was just like, Harstam, you're a genius, bro. He's like, dude, I don't have time to spend 1,000 hours finding every dirty cannon spot. I can get 1 hour of coaching with one of these guys on the ladder. It'll be great. Desperate last-ditch push here for Classic. He's got very little money behind this. I guess it's not like Clem's economy's that crazy, but I know it is. He's got 8 orbitals still. He's fine. The Vikings are repairing. This is so good value. Remember, it only costs 25% of the cost to take it from 1 hit points to full hit points. Repair is insanely good value. Pig, is this a live match? Yeah, the best games of StarCraft show is live. Sure. Much like your mom's live on my free cams right now. Get out of here, guy in the chat. Is it live? Is it live? Every day. Every day. You guys can't read a bloody stream title. Hot damn. Twitch chat. You're making YouTube chat look intelligent right now. Guys, up your game. EMP's landing on the mothership. He really wants the EMPs on these High Templar. Classic's done a pretty good job of guarding them. But I think eventually, surely he runs out of space, especially when the advanced ballistics libs get in there. Clem's just being so patient. He just doesn't want to throw the game. And I think we've seen that. I've talked about Cannon Battery Tempest with Storm being a really good style to siege down a Terran. This is not that. Classic's trying to go man mode Protoss, Carriers, Disruptors, High Templar, Mothership, Stalker, Archon. But even the flanking High Templar get caught. Not a single Storm gets thrown. EMP blankets everything. Clem's frontline of Ghost does excellent. Big Zealot reinforce. He's got 18 gate worth of Zealot. The Colossus will go down and pushing through those libs. An impossibility for Classic, who ends up in a similar spot to Max, Pax, and Hero, down about 19,000 resources. Keep in mind, he was playing this from behind, and his big Mothership surprise move happened to get caught on the rotation, which was really unfortunate. That being said, if you get ahead in the mid game especially, I still am a massive believer if you build cannons, if you get ahead, you can't finish the Terran, you go, you take this ridge, you build cannons here, you build batteries, spread High Templar out, Tempests, Revelation with an Oracle, you siege them with Tempests, and you use those cannons to beef up your supply massively. You can absolutely wear down a Terran if you have a mid-game lead. Classic was behind in the mid-game though. I think he still did a very good job of making this competitive. But Clem showed he's very experienced against Carriers. I don't see him losing many late games to Carriers. Oh, right, guys. Well, that scoreboard is wrong. That scoreboard is correct. Clem only needs one more game to seal the deal, but he's going into Protoss territory. He's going on to the mothership, man. We'll see if those shiny lights are a bit too bright. Does he get blinded by the moment? Get a bit too excited? We'll find out. Classic in the top left side. Big thanks to those supporting live. Fi Plays, Tree, Bickyars, Duckman, Parky. Thanks for the subs, guys. Appreciate you all watching. You guys ever want to watch these games cast live? A lot of the games on Pigcasts are cast live every week by Saturday. Friday, if you're in North America or Europe, where we cast a bunch of the series. A bunch of the other games are just highlight matches that either come from Pigasaur Weekly, which we do live on my Wednesday, Tuesday if you're in North America, Europe, or just from other highlight series that I might randomly do a one-off cast if we get some good replays during the rest of the week. There's sparks down there, man. There's sparks down there. Dude, I think the pylon powering this mothership is unstable. Is this technically a pylon, guys? It looks like a pylon, right? It's like a big old magic crystal. Thank you around then, Bam, for the cheer. So 1-Rax expand here. No more double gas builds for Clem. Kind of liked how the double gas went, but this map's not very good for dead space on the edge. Not as many angles to come from. The probe has been blocking way too early. This is a really bad block for Classic. You might think he did a good job, guys, but notice Clem just got 400 minerals as this went down. So the only reason you would block that early is, I guess, if you think maybe it's a marine into factory opening, in which case they could build the command center like maybe 5 seconds earlier, 50 minerals earlier. Even then, I think he was blocking it like 12 seconds before the command center could possibly go down. So that's something you got to pay attention to timing, guys. I don't think a command center maybe goes down at like a minute 33 if they skip the Reaper or the Marine. And normally no earlier than a minute 37, I would say, if they are still building the Reaper and stuff. So I think a minute 33 is like the earliest you should actually commit to blocking. Otherwise, the probe uses up all of its hit points, and by the time they have 400 minerals, you already have to evacuate. Hey Pig, do Protoss pros just generally lose against other non-Protoss pros these days since the latest patch, or nah? No, not at all. Sorry, I'm not too knowledgeable about this game. Nope. No, not at all. It's just late game. If it goes to the late game, Protoss loses to Terran at the moment. But in the mid game, Protoss sometimes just runs away with the game and mauls. Like, Protoss is favored mid game, Terran's favored late game. I would say Terran's more favored in late game, at least when it's Clem we're talking about, than Protoss is in the mid game. But essentially, the matchup's just a bit stilted. Normally, there can be like small advantages at different stages of the game, but it's like Protoss has too much of a mid-game advantage against Terran right now, so sometimes they just maul Terran in the mid-game. And likewise, Terran almost always mauls Protoss in the end game if it gets there. But we'll see how it goes. Obviously, Classic is, like I said, a master of like late mid-game, early late game. Really good with that stuff, but he just needs better openings. So far, he's found himself a bit behind 2 games in a row, and that's what makes things so hard for him. Yeah, it's like literally anything can happen. Yes, Classic's down 2 games, But until it gets to like the 12 or 13 minute mark, I look at this as a very 50-50 matchup, maybe even slightly classic favored. Like if the game's going to end before then, classic favored potentially, but there's just a massive fall off in Protoss success rate on this patch after that stage. Hey Pig, what about TVZ late game? Serral doesn't play for small money. There hasn't been any big money tournaments on this patch, so we haven't seen Serral play. Reyna's looked okay in late game. It does feel like it's hard for Terran to defend some of their bases, but it feels, I don't know, TVZ feels relatively fair right now. Obviously, Clem makes everything feel unfair because his micro is inhuman, but we would be really curious to see what happens if we see Serral and Clem clash in late game. Broods are a lot better now. They get their first shot off faster, but Ghosts are like ridiculously tanky, so, and Vikings are also a bit cheaper as well. Widow Mine drop coming in. Sees a Stalker, pulls back. No risk. It's a good way to do it. This is so much ground to cover. And he doesn't know how many Stalkers were behind that one. I like the no risk play here for Clem. He's going to go for a Raven, Stim, second and third barracks. Once again, no tanks. Why would he build tanks against a guy who is notorious for skipping Blink, going charge first, as he's doing here, 4-gate into, or third base into fourth base. Once again, a very quick third base. Started before 4 minutes. Couple Stalkers poking forward. Hellion will get cleaned up. Classic taking a small break from probing to go 6 gates. He's going 6-gate Zealot, I guess in case there's an early push. Immediately resumes probing, but it is a 3-gas style for him, and that Forge normally goes down next. Ah, he's going to play Storm this time. Okay. Max Pack's big fan of rushing Storm at the moment. So 6-gate charge Storm off of the quick 3 bases. Raven's going to try and harass down this right side. Widow Mine drop still forcing a few Stalkers to stay put in the main. Stim shields and +1 are just seconds away. Water turret comes in. Remember, there is this shield on the side of the map. That's an air blocker. Raven gets a bit of mining time. 1 probe, damages the Adept. Widow Mine drop tries to go in, has to pull back. Third command center starting pre-6 minutes. It's a very well-timed third base. Raven's going to go for another auto turret. He's going to try and just fly away there. Not targeting the probes. Clem. What was that? I don't know if he misclicked on the Stalker or something, because he shot the Adept twice. Then he shot the Stalker twice, and then he killed the probe, but it's not really the micro you want. I mean, he's got 3 kills at least on the Raven, but I think one of those was an Observer. He probably dropped an auto turret on. Double drop's going to move out the left side. Oh, feedback on the damage medevac. Classic. You big D boy, you. Big D for defense, guys. He has a large defense. Good defensive statistic. He's going 9-gate Storm. Forge hasn't started an upgrade just yet. He's got 2 High Templar and Storm on the way. Bit gas-starved. Stalkers. They do have Blink. Did he go Blink after charge, guys? Or was it actually Blink first and I'm an idiot? Maybe it was Blink first. Zealot Stalker doing good. But that's too much bio. Feedback's nice. It ain't going to kill these on its own, though. Clem doesn't want to stay too long, though. Oh! Massive screw-up! Clem messes up his micro, leaves a bunch of the bio behind. That's a doo-doo. Dude, he would have been better off just standing there and fighting and trying to focus the Stalkers, maybe. Poof. Fourth base going up down here, down south. Hard to defend it, but look, he's got the side advantage, but Classic wasn't watching. No, neither side was watching there. Still probably a good fight for Classic. Clem's army very damaged. Auto turret's doing nothing now that the battery's up on that base. Second Forge and a fourth base coming in. Clem's going to feel urgency to get something done before Colossus enter the fray, but that's still a few minutes away. No sign of a Robo Bay just yet. So there are 6 gases, so honestly, it could be any moment now. Oh, he gets out of position. Classic. Unforced error, man. Widow Mine does take out a Stalker. He loses the Nexus, cancels the Nexus, loses the Pylon, I should say. Oh my gosh. 9 Zealot warp in a run in the third, and 4 Zealots to drop in the main. Clem thinks he has full map control. He's in for a rude awakening. Zealot's going to go into that main base. He goes directly up there. He's trying to dodge any turrets on the edge. Here we go. 2 Zealots do drop on the wrong side, but these guys are going to get right in the back. Clem, he's got to send everything home to try and keep these SCVs alive. You should not be fighting with the SCVs, though, I don't think. Here comes a push at the front at the same time. He's going to try and get in between Clem and his third base. Clem has a big double drop that's way out of position right now. These Zealots caught him completely off guard. Completely off guard. He's taken 16, 17 worker losses already. Marine Marauder coming forward. Prism going into that main base. There is a bit of Bio Ghost waiting for him, but he has to abandon the third. Luckily, this counter drop might keep him in it. Remember, it's only 3 bases right now. 4 Classic. 1 Marauder gets left behind, but the rest do get picked up to safety. Gets 8 probes. Absolutely essential damage for Clem. Unfortunately for him, there are 2 Colossus already almost finished. Extended Thermal Lance has begun. Classic's going to take the more compact base location this time. He's also going to try and hunt this down. If he catches this double drop, it might be lights out for Clem. And quickly picks up and evacuates. He's going to go back to the high ground. Really hard to hunt this down. Ghost count's good. Vikings are just now starting, though. First Viking against a guy who's already got 2 Colossus out. Third one starting. Raven comes in with the double auto turret. Doesn't get much, just 2 probes and damages the battery. Stalker will damage the Raven on the way out as well. Army's going to rotate north. 3rd and 4th Colossus, extended thermal lance, and 2-1 upgrades all on the way. When all of those kick in, the Protoss power spike will be massive. Whoa! Storm drop on the damaged SCVs. That's 10 SCVs. Slick move there for Classic. He's going to whop some Zealots in on that side as well. He's only got 3 High Templar at home with no Prism. He cancels his 4th base, realizing he's got to move south to deal with this drop, but that means the north is exposed. Clem's going to go past, engaging in the Chaos mode a little bit with this drop. Shield Battery will be his target, but the Colossus pops out and will roast those boys. Zealots running in on the 3rd. Clem cannot keep this 3rd base protected for the life of him. I'm going to try and go drop in the main. At least forces a few more Stalker weapons there. Classic's doing a much better job, but the fact that he can't keep a 4th up is the one problem. Like, if Clem can get like 7 or 8 Vikings out, I have really good defensive micro. That medevac finally gets cleaned up. Maybe. He's on 4 Vikings. 5th Viking building as well as a 2nd starport. He can't even afford double Viking production. There we go, finally. Classic's got a lot of Storm, 4 Colossus, extended thermal lance, 2-1 upgrades are almost finished. He's got to go. His 4th is so massively delayed. Classic has to go. I think he will. Vikings out here looking for prisms on the map. They see the Zealots incoming. Clem misclicks a pickup, unloads promptly. Observer sees everything. Clem stims out. Classic sees it. Classic could catch these boys. Classic could catch those boys. He saw them go out. He should go for them. He should jump on this. It's a free army right here. Classic spotted this with the Observer. He's a bit slow to pounce. He's playing very afraid. I think he thought that was the whole army. That was just a handful of Marine Marauder. Only gets a medevac for a Stalker. Classic's got a much scarier army right now. 4 Colossus, 4 Archons, 10 Stalkers, 25 Zealots. 2-1 upgrades have kicked in. It's go time, baby. He's going to try and lead with some Storm. He storms his own units a lot more than Clem's. Clem lands some massive EMPs. I would say those were some horrendous storms from Classic, but he's got way more where that came from, so it might not matter. The Bio Army just has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and Classic is maxed against 170 supply Terran. He's trying to repair his orbital, trying to survive. There's still 9 Vikings up. There's so many storms, though. Oh, the feedbacks, which means no more EMP. Which means the High Templar will reign supreme with no more answer. Another Ghost came down, landed an EMP there on those High Templar, but not before the entire Terran army took crazy damage. Vikings come in from both sides. The Colossus are going to drop. The Marauders individually spreading to minimize their splash damage. But Clem has already taken far too much damage, and he will throw in the towel. Crazy close game there at the end of that, but Classic pushing in up on him, using those storms, just endless storms. And once he landed those feedbacks, it sealed the deal. All right, guys. Classic now, starting his comeback train, climbing the top left side of the map. I wouldn't mind a double gas for him again. This map, though, once again, not great for air harass. I guess down here is where he's got good spots to hide, actually, here and maybe here. But the top right of the main, that's a lot of ground space you got to get through to get towards this mineral line. Now, I'm gonna hazard a guess, guys. I think Classic's gonna go Gate Scout into Core before Nexus. I know, very surprising, isn't it? Classic is a very safe player. What can I say? A very safe player. Checks his natural for proxy barracks in there. Goes to check his third, maybe? Or does he just go... No, it looks like he just goes straight across the map now. No, he's going to even check his third for proxy. He's so safe. And even after finding no proxy, he'll still go Cybercore before Nexus just to be safe. Even though it's a giant map. Double gas over on the other side for Clem. He is going to go for a bit more of an aggro start. Chat says egg and drink is an oxymoron in my world. Well, I mean, it's pretty much liquid before you cook it. If you whisk the egg together, you know, depends. I mean, it's pretty thick liquid, to be fair. Sorry, as we were just talking about, what does everyone think? You guys remember Napoleon Dynamite when he's working at the chicken farm, picking up the eggs, and then they're like drinking, I think they're like ladle out essentially some like egg drink with like raw eggs in it. And I was saying, I think it's just raw eggs in that Napoleon Dynamite scene. You guys let me know what you think it is. I think it's literally just a bunch of whisked up raw eggs. But I wonder if that's actually like a real thing people have, and maybe it's got something else in it. So Pig, if Protoss doesn't vastly outgrow the Terran, is late game Terran favored between these two? Clem's the best Terran in the world, so he's favored against every Protoss in the late game, I feel like. But yeah, Protoss is naturally bigger than Terran in terms of base count in the mid game. And if they get a little bit of a lead, they can like just wallop him well before it gets to end game. Because like that end game scenario, you know, Clem needs to build a lot of orbitals, he needs 2-2 upgrades, 2 starports, fusion core, 4th base, so many commands, and it's just so many things he needs to do. It costs a lot to get there. And usually the Protoss, if they can get up to 5 base against 3, they can kind of swarm the Terran. A lot of other things going on as well. So why doesn't Clem just play defensive if that's the case? He does. I mean, the thing is, obviously, you can't just play defensive from the start. So Protoss has the best economic growth in the game. So if you just sit there and build a third command center, Protoss will scout that, and they'll just hold the probe key down, and they'll get way ahead of you. So you actually need to be active with your units to keep the Protoss honest. Otherwise, they will massively outscale you in the economy game. Even Zerg actually really struggles to keep up with Protoss in a pure economy game. It's sending lings across and floods of lings and roaches that keeps them honest. Oh, good adept positioning to 3 Reaper 2 Alien. Big commitment here for Clem, guys. Oh, the Reapers are committing on that adept. Can he kill it? 1 Reaper goes down. He does take out the adept, but it's 2 Reapers, 1 Hellion left. Can he get more damage? Great grenade! Beautiful grenade! Absolutely delectable. Unfortunately, his Hellion keeps shooting the Stalker there. Needs to target the probes. And not the best micro for Clem. Only gets 2 probes in an adept. A very good hold there for Classic, who's still up 6 workers afterwards. He has a second gate, a robo, a third gas, and of course now, 400 minerals as he arrives. That's a third Nexus, baby! Good start for Protoss. Double Mind Drop's going to come in as well. If you could get some damage with the double Mind Drop, Clem could maybe string together some momentum. He's going to build a tank this game. I was not expecting that. Might do a tank push even. Oh, he thought about hesitating. Oh, this is bad for Clem. The medevac goes down immediately. Oh, but he does get 3 probes there, which is not too bad. And he's just going to keep retargeting. Yeah. Blink is ready. Oh, he retargeted a little bit there. It's a lot of mining time. Clem makes the most of a bad spot there. 4 probes, that much mining time, I think is doable. It's okay. The problem is that that third's already up. He's building a second siege tank. Clem's playing very safe this time. He's not rushing to stim and shields. And against a guy who's only got 4 stalkers with blink and is then just going straight charge, Templar archives, non-stop probes. Classic could run away with this mid-game. I love the greed from Classic. And I love this even more. Wow. So much damage on the Raven already. Down to just 68 life. Yeah, if it was an eggnog, the egg drink, then that's best case scenario. It didn't really look like an eggnog though. I think it looked way too yellow to be eggnog. Eggnog's nice. I like eggnog. Yeah. Lots more gateways coming. Okay, so with no third command center started, is this just a tank all in now? Problem. Okay, third command center starts at 6 minutes. It's not too late on the third. Clem has to pressure, and I think he has to bring his tanks as well. Basically, the timing for him moving out is about a minute from now, or about 40 seconds from now. It's when these two medevacs pop. He might move out a little bit before and boost the medevacs to join his army. But he has to exert some pressure because Classic has literally got 5 Stalkers, 1 Adept, and an Observer. He has no army. But he's got 8 gateways coming up. Prism, Forge, Storm. Fully saturated third base, taking a 4th gas. Classic, this is why you have to have pressure, because the moment your pressure disappears and Protoss has vision, oh my gosh, he just gets to do everything at once. Now, don't get me wrong. It's Clem. He's got a pretty good chance of smashing. But look at this. Classic knows there's a good chance of a drop sneaking out the south side. He's got 4 Stalkers ready to intercept. Hot tip for you guys at home. 5 Stalkers is better. And unfortunately for Classic, he guessed the wrong side that these medevacs would leave from. Looks like Clem may be thinking about catching the Stalkers on the map. He's just going to go for the Watchtower, I guess. Would have been cool to see him sneak around the north. That Raven's just going to sit here all game until it's maxed on energy, and then he's hoping he'll be able to get in and spam some auto turrets down. Blast through the shield battery healing. Alright, medevacs come forward. Now remember, Clem's going to be traumatized about Prisms and Zealots running into his main and third. Storm Drop coming in. I think when the SCVs aren't damaged, Storm Drop's pretty low percentage chance to do good damage. It's not a bad move. Like, hey, it's pretty cheap. You could just drop some High Templar as long as you save the Prism. But you're kind of hoping Clem's a little bit slow right now. Just hoping Clem's looking elsewhere. It looks like he might have caught him. Gets 4 SCVs. Oh, that extra Storm. Kind of juicy there. Damage the Marines a bit. But 5 SCVs. About as much as you're ever going to get on the first wave. If those SCVs are already damaged, you might actually get the kills, though. Second Robo Bay on the way. That's the real timer. Yeah, this is what Max has been doing as well. Second Robo Bay off an immediate Stargate because he wants to deal with the Raven. And he wants to deal with any drops that go hide in the dead space. Classic. I love the early Stargates, man. Chat says you have to have tanks, no? Guess you've just tuned in, Sally. Not against a defensive player like Classic. You have to build them against Max because he's going to get in your face with Stalkers every game in a Prism. Classic, even when he opens Blink, does not attack with Blink, or at most it's a single poke him. So Clem's been skipping tanks most of this series. Oh, look at that Storm Drop. Baits a stim for only 1 Zealot. Good pullback here for Classic, but slick run by, or drop by I should say. Tries to get in the natural. Does spot the double robo transition. It's just going to grab 3 probes and get out of dodge. Phoenix is being built to deal with this Raven. It's like, I know this thing's going to kill like 20 probes otherwise when it comes in and drops 4 turrets. He's like, I will invest in this. I could spare 250 gas and 300 minerals to get rid of that bad boy. 4th command center is on the way. Second starport. Where's the armory? Does have a Ghost Academy, but no armory just yet. Ooh, Phoenix just cleaned up the Raven, guys. Storm Drop comes in at the same time. Gets another 5 SCVs. Nice moves. Oh. The Bio gives up on the chase. 4 more probes are building. I think the lack of second eBay armory is the biggest concern I have for Clem's setup right now, guys. Like, yes, he's going to go put this on another reactor. He builds a new reactor for that barrack. Second eBay armory finally goes down for him. Now, to his credit, Classic has not started +2 yet. To Clem's credit, I guess. Or in defense of Clem's upgrade position, I should say. And that's actually a huge mistake. This is really late to not have +2 started. He's got a big Storm Colossus timing, guys. Look at that. 6 full energy High Templar. Each one of those has 2 storms. That's 12 storms there, plus whatever these 2 High Templar and the Prism have. He's going to have at least 14 Psy Storms. Oh my gosh. Dude, you need Vikings right now. If those Vikings can shoot down the Prism, it's huge. He's got 5 Vikings. He doesn't have anything actually covering his main against a Prism dropping Zealots in there. Here comes the shove. Classic just goes for it. Classic just YOLOs in here. The Vikings a bit too slow to the party, and great Storm zoning this army. Tanks adding a bit of damage here. That Storm not quite on the siege tank. The Zealot Stalker will come forward and take care of it. Big Storms in the mineral line. Crazy move here for Classic. Just saying, hey, if I get in between you and your economy, you're going to have to fight into an abundance of Psy Storms. And that's exactly what he does here. Another Storm comes forward. There's only 1 Psy Storm left in this army, but he does get a very good one zoning it out. Somehow only 15 workers went down. Oh no, he transfers through, loses 2 more. Bio army's heavily damaged. Clem just trying to survive right now. Another full energy High Templar. Oh, Clem, no. No, Clem. Massive unforced error. Massive unforced error there. Feeling the heat. Oh my gosh, he took so much damage to that final storm. And now Classic has not just a 5th, but a 6th base on the gold. He's got 2 more Colossus building. He's just going to keep hammering, and that 2-2 is so far behind. Just now started. +2's almost finished here for Classic. He's had time to catch up on these upgrades now. And, wow. Clem needs to survive, but he doesn't have a sensor tower out here. He's lost his front tank. He's only got 1 tank there. 2 tanks over here, but that's a planetary. It's actually this side where he should shift a few tanks over here. Because this bottom side is actually really well defended. It's the north where he's going to have problems. He doesn't see the army until it's right on top of him. Archons disappear. Once again, the Storms are going to zone him out. The Command Center needs to lift. The SCVs need to run. High Templar lands another Psy Storm before the EMP can go down. Clem needs to do a better job of EMPing those High Templar. Like, yes, Classic's microing well, but Clem is letting him do it. He's leaving the openings. And Classic's doing a really good job. Like I said, these sort of Colossus High Templar push are Classic's bread and butter. He's so good at these early late game pushes. And he's just going to be relentless. 1 High Templar marches forward at a time. And he just pulls north. He should have clicked that command center, though, I feel like, with the Stalkers. He's still got more Storms behind, though. 2 more High Templar. Very heavy on energy. The command center does get taken out. And another Storm takes out a medevac. Clem is going to tap out of that game. Uncharacteristic micro mistakes there, quite repetitively for Clem. And I think it all came down to Classic just shoving with the first army and not giving it any time to get prepared. And that's one of the weaknesses. Like, you're sitting here, you're like, cool, I got to make sure my 4th doesn't get denied. And this was actually perfect timing for Classic. He probably didn't even know about this planetary on the left. I don't think he did. But maybe he saw the army shift, and actually that observer sees a lot. Oh. This is why he shoved so decisively. This observer saw Clem. Clem did not know he was being watched. And he just sees, oh, you're so worried about your 4th going down as the planetary's erecting. I know you don't have many units up here. And he holds a goal for a good Protoss player. Classic sees he's way out of position. He just dives. Doesn't waste any time. This observer actually set Classic up for success. Great play by Classic. Zones him out and just gets massive damage. All right, guys. Clem in the top left side of the map playing Barracks Gas. He's going to go for a pretty early SCV. What is this? eBay block. Okay. Now, Classic's going to go Gate Gas. And then he's going to check for eBay block. Oh, no way. He checks for Barracks first. If he goes right, that's tragic. But he goes left. He sees it. Clem's still going to commit. I actually think in this scenario, it's worth going in and not building the eBay. I think building the eBay is a waste of time because he's already going to pull probes. So all you need to do is circle. Yeah, and you already get the same response without building the engineering bay as actually building it. Smart play by Clem. Because look, Classic doesn't even have the money to build the Nexus anyway. And he's actually, you wasted a bunch of mining time here. This doesn't really cost you that much. This is actually a perfectly fine opening for Clem. Second pylon at the front, second gas on 21. Pretty solid build here for Classic. So he's rallying onto the patch that doesn't have a buddy on it, fixes that, and then he rallies onto the gas. Yep, beautiful play. This guy returns the minerals, clicks on the gas as well. This probe's going to come home. There is a Reaper on the map. One adept is, of course, being chrono boosted. It's a marine, a factory, and then we see bunker before second gas. You need to make sure that bunker starts before 2 minutes 20, so it's ready before the adept arrives. Then second gas should go down right on 75 minerals. Beautiful play. Now the Reaper's waiting for the adept to move out. Twilight Council to actually create a bit of a wall off is cute. And the Reaper goes in. Beautiful timing here. Can he find a probe on the natural? No, they've both just pulled into the main. That's lucky timing for Classic, I guess, that no probes have just gone back down to mine minerals. Adept shading forwards. Deepos do raise. I don't think we see a heli in this game. I think it'll just be a... Never mind. Oh, do you guys think he goes 3 Hellions? Seeing a semi-wall off, that would be dangerous. Oh, he's going to get the probe. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to get surrounded. He's going to lose the Reaper for that. Is he, though? Yeah. As long as Classic doesn't mess the shade up. Oh, he messed the shade up. He didn't track him. Classic actually does not get the kill on the Reaper as long as the Reaper doesn't run straight past him. No, Clem. Oh my god, his micro is so good to even survive that long, but that's crazy, man. 2 Marines, 1 Widow Mine, 1 Medevac on the way. Clem's such an annoying player. Yeah, you see the way he does that micro around the Nexus? It's like, ugh, so ridiculous. Third Nexus gets spotted the second it gets placed. All right. So Clem knows. It's not 4-gate blink. I think we're going to see a very quick third barracks here. We're going to go for a Marine Mine Drop, which he'll probably boost directly to the right side of the map. Because he wants to go hit the main or maybe the natural with that. He could drop in from this angle and go for the... This is actually where you'll have the least warning coming in here over the rally point. Yeah. Stalker. Oh, the adept spots it! Let's go to Classic's camera. Yeah, he definitely saw it. He's watching. He's watching. And he comes forward. Probe on that side, I think he's just going to build a pylon. He was just here to spot incoming drops. Clem will find a kill. Dodges the adept attack. Nicely done. Oh, Banshee! I wasn't expecting the Banshee. Watch the hallucinated Phoenix spot him there. And it's spotting the Cloak. Should mean Cloak has minimal chances of doing damage. Maru's a big fan of the Cloak opening. I feel like he's repopularized it recently. Four more gateways coming in. Looks like a 6-gate Storm build once again. Yeah, Templar Archives goes down. First Banshee sneaks past. Hellion goes down. So the Stalkers have control. Banshee is just going to fly straight in, realizing the Stalkers are out of position. And at least a bit of mining time and a probe or two. Not a bad start for that Banshee. Observer's about to pop at the perfect timing. Oh my gosh. Classic. Getting so much done here, man. Already used his blink. His Stalker warping in the main. Cloak activates, and he will be able to escape. But only 2 probes, a little bit of mining time. No big value found in this opening. Where's the other Banshee? Oh, did he not build it? We cancelled the second one. Or did he just build a Raven straight away, maybe? He was always planning for it to be 1. 8 Marine Drop sneaks around the left. You can stim that in this mineral line when Classic's active on the map. It could do really well. Forge is not up yet. I guess he goes Storm first. I actually think when you go Storm this early, it's better to make 2 High Templar, then Storm. Unless you're worried that there's going to be like an SCV boy pool or something. So I just think the more time gathering energy is usually more important. Classic probably feels it's a bit too greedy. He's just going to start the Storm, make another Observer. You know, add the High Templar and use energy recharge to help fill the gap in the energy. Green drop comes in, immediately runs away. Very safe play for Classic. That's a pattern that Clem's repeated a few times. Classic's picked up on that now. He's not going to get caught off guard by that. 5 barracks coming up. Concussive, shields, +1, all coming in now. This looks like a very even game. Very even. 5 gas play. Storm's almost finished. Forge is just now gone down. So there will be a hefty upgrade advantage for Terran going into the mid game. Stalker blinks away. This is very much just how Classic plays, guys. Other players like outside your base with 8 Stalkers. Classic, very defensive. Very defensive. Like, I love Classic's playstyle. I actually initially learned how to play Protoss versus Terran from a build that he did in early Legacy, where you'd go Oracle into single Void Ray straight to Colossus opening. It was such a sick build. Back when the Void Ray could actually just one-shot a medevac with prismatic alignment. Those were good days. It didn't slow down as much with the prismatic alignment. It stayed full speed, so you could just turn on the overcharge and just blast a medevac. CLEM's pressuring, but he's not finding any real damage. It's just distraction. But he's clearing up the map. The Warp Prism, he's going to build a turret. A turret on its own will not defend it. Banshee does get repaired. CLEM's got a Ghost Academy on the way. Nice dodge on the Widow Mine with the blink. Second Robo and second Forge on the way, as well as that Robo Bay. Another Observer goes down. That's 2 Observers. There's 2 more, though. Love Classic's investment in all of these. Oh, he goes for the triple auto turret, hoping to snipe the Prism. Doesn't get it, only gets the shields. I mean, he's definitely going to rally a Viking over that, or a few Vikings even. Good choice to recall for Classic. If he recalled even a second later, he loses that. Which would have been 10 supply and a ton of minerals. Uh-oh. Protoss is behind him. CLEM finds the 4th base, but I don't think there's any escape from here. He's trapped up against the edge of the map. Oh no! Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide! Okay, he's going to lose these guys. He does focus a few Reddit point zealots, which is really impressive micro. At least he can save 2 medevacs worth of units. 3 Marauders, 8 Marines for a few zealots and a Nexus cancel. I don't think it's too bad. Feedback can reach him here, I think. Oh my god, can he storm him? Dude, if Classic can storm him there, it's worth it. If you can storm... Oh no! He's storming one of the medevacs, Clem! Clem, he's going to lose a full medevac! Can you storm the other one, though, is the question. 110 damage. 1 storm would kill it if he can reach, but I think he can't quite reach the other medevac. Pig, when was StarCraft the most balanced? I have no idea. There's always players that defy balance. StarCraft 2's generally, for most of its history, been a pretty balanced game. There's just been really obnoxious metas. Generally speaking, most of the time, the highest skilled players have won. But balance factors in, of course. You know, if you got a guy who's favored against someone, balance very rarely, especially in Legacy, affects the outcome. It's usually more affected by the skill of the players. Sorry, I keep staring at that, guys. He's going into macro mode, is CLEM. He's going to play late game, knowing that he's better in the late game. Now, something I've talked about for a long time is you can defend this style, Classic's doing, with just 6 full energy High Templar, Mass Storm, Colossus push. But you need very good EMPs and very good Viking micro. Oh, he's going to try to escape. There's not enough dead space, though. Funnily enough, the probes do gift themselves to him. And he will take out a few stalkers, a few probes. Hey, it's not bad, man. 5 probes and a couple stalkers. Well, for a drop that he thought was trapped, was going to just die out there. That's really well done. 7 probes, eh? But yeah, Liberators shut down Classic. So Classic actually doesn't know what to do against range Liberators. Last time I saw him play against them, he looked like a lost puppy. But no Terran believes in range Liberators. I've really tried to encourage Clem to do this, but he hasn't been playing against Classic recently. He's playing against Max, and Hero. These guys who don't really play this push nearly, not even close to as effective as Classic. But the Stalkers warped in, they shut down the Raven. He can still defend without it, but he needs to basically push back the Colossus with the Vikings while the EMPs try to land on those High Templar. We saw in the last game, whenever this army gets between Clem and his own base, he loses. So he needs to be in front. On this right side is the scariest angle. But even if this army pushes up, if the Protoss gets here, he's kind of screwed, because then Protoss can just storm him out and shimmy to the left and ruin him. But he needs to stay in the open. He's got 14 Vikings, 34 Marines, 18 Mortars. That's way too many Marines. Against 4 Colossus and 8 High Templar, his composition's a little bit off. But Clem, it's all about the EMPs. He's got about 6, 7 ghosts in here. First EMPs didn't really land on the High Templar at all. And his army's splitting because there's a big Zealot run by. Oh, and that forces him to give up position. Great move by Classic. He forces Clem to give up position, and he even lures him into the main base. But the Planetary will survive. Planetary, a very good defensive anchor. This is just forcing Clem to stim his units a lot, though, taking massive amounts of damage. Remember, he's only got 5 medevacs. He also eats big storms on the Vikings. Big storms! Planetary's taking big damage. He's just getting zoned by Storm. He's not able to EMP because he's out of EMPs now. Oh my god, the Planetary gets sniped. Classic just going for it. And the Zealot distraction makes Clem pull his army away. There's too much Storm. And without siege tanks or liberators sieged up overhead, it was always going to be about the ghost, but he got his ghost too late. He only had 7 of them, and he let that massive Zealot attack pull him out of position with way too much army. And that was a huge move for Classic. That being said, Classic ends up losing his whole army, running home, and he's only on 4 base. 5th base is finishing on the right. If Clem finds that, it's a free kill. But what idiot would take this base on the right side of the map? He probably thinks this is the base that'll be the 5th. Or down here. Oh my gosh, Classic's 5th is going to survive by just building it on the edge of the map. That's so random. Chronoing probes a little bit. 74 workers for Classic. Clem can recover from here, but he's got to rebuild command centers. And that's something that he's gonna struggle with. Liberator goes around the side of the map. Stalkers are there. +3 attacks almost in. It's going to be 3-2 in a moment. 4 Colossus are going to be out. Okay, so Classic's chosen his weapon, guys. It's going to be the exact same push over and over again. Classic has 1 move. It's a Colossus, Zealot, Stalker, High Templar push. A couple of Archons in the mix for good measure. He's just going to have a billion High Templar, and he's basically going to try and move between Clem and his army and blanket him in Storm. Clem does not have Liberators. He does not have Advanced Ballistics. He does not have tanks. If you have those entrenched siege units, defending this is not that hard. But as it is, he needs amazing EMPs, and he needs to track where this army is at all times. Oh, 6 Storm Drop. Slick move there for Classic. Prism speed as well. He can easily get out of there. Oh, big EMPs! Clem YOLOs, but there's more storms behind that. Great EMPs. You can see Clem got a bit of a stiffy there, got a bit excited. Look at all these Nexi coming up. Classic's going to take all these. I'd love to see him transfer workers forward off these safer bases onto these ones, take the gases as well. It's risky because you could lose the workers, but if you can mine those out, that'll be good. I still think Classic's stuck in the early late game. Luckily, Clem is miles from endgame. He's only now building a 4th command center. He's building a 3rd starport, which is the wrong call. He's already got 2 starports on reactors, so a 3rd starport. It's not important. He needs mass command center, and he needs it right now. There we go. He starts another command center. He needs a lot more of those. Warp Prism Storm Drop comes in, gets shot down. Classic's gonna jam it. EMPs are good though. Clem doesn't have any scans, which is a real problem here. Makes it hard to see where those High Templar are. Good snipes though. And Clem, impenetrable in the late game. Clem's late game transition may have been slowed down, but he's finding efficiency now. He's got a bunker behind the mineral line. He's got a planetary there. He's gonna float a command center out. He's building more CCs. And this is a real problem. Classic needs to go and keep pushing. But unfortunately, he's getting to a heavy Archon army, very weak to mass Ghost. And that Ghost count continues to grow. Prisms in the main could help. Or he could use this bank to start doing the cannon battery setup outside. If you start cannons out here, go for Tempest Storm. It's an option. I don't think it's one Classic will take. Massive thank you, Shadowhawks, for the 10 gifted subs. Really appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Zealots go after the Marines. Or Marine, I should say. Fire coming forward. Zealots getting cleaned up. Zealot's going to go down. Base on the right side is going to be in trouble. Oh, massive EMP ambush, but 1 zoning storm saves the day. But Clem won't be perturbed. He will not be perturbed. High Templar drop goes into the main, gets cleaned up. But oh my god, flanking Storm! A Prism drop. There was 2 Prisms. A Prism dropped High Templar in the main. Another. He had 2 Storm drops active. The other Storm drop just ambushed Clem's army. Clem wanted to force a fight there. Now he ends up getting bullied backwards. And there's flanking High Templar coming out of his own main base from that drop. That is insane. Classic. Taking advantage of this crazy position. There need to be more EMPs on this Archon. Still no libs in the mix is absolutely crazy if you ask me. But Zealot, Archon, High Templar, Colossus trying to do what they could do. The Bio needs to just stand and fight. But he's so paranoid about Storm. He's stimming and he's not standing and fighting. The Orbital is going to survive with a repair. Can he beat the Archons? Oh, it's so many Archons. Their splash damage is wild. Zealot's cleaning up the natural 16 SCVs have gone down. The Orbital does go down. Clem, his units are so damaged. His Vikings have landed. They're going to try and support this army as best he can. He does have a base in the top right. He's not dead just yet, but he's lost 21 workers. He's down to 44 workers. His medevacs are struggling. They do have almost unlimited energy regen, but here comes another wave. 31 Zealots, 4 Archons, 6 Stalkers, and there are 2 High Templar waddling in from behind with some Storm energy. The Bio is far too damaged. Look at that. Classic baits a stim, splits the Zealots off and says, come and fight me in the open, mate. And another Storm lands. EMP does counter it after it goes down. Zealot Archon trying to force the overwhelm. Classic does not have the perfect endgame position, but he has Classic on. He has Clem on the ropes. Clem is so weak. He's wobbled. You can see he's a bit shaky on his feet. Do not slow the pace down, Classic. Keep it going. Bates is, the thing is, I think there's enough medevacs now that he can perma-stim. Classic can't just keep making him stim, because the medevacs have unlimited energy with the Caduceus reactor. Oh my god, the libs are here. He needs to just pre-siege these libs before the fight starts. Oh god, they're not going to siege in time. The Stalkers are going to run forward and take him out. Colossus, Zealot, Archon doing such a good job. The army on the left of Clem gets absolutely mauled. He tries to hold on the ramp, but the Archon Zealot ruining him on that ramp. You can see Clem's trying to pull back in both sides, but now there is mass 3-3 Zealot up the ramp in the main, and that is devastating. Vikings will deal with these Colossus. Finally, those heavily damaged Vikings from earlier, but Classic has breached the Terran main base, and Clem's Turtle Style being overwhelmed by just the sheer number of storms that this man makes. The Liberative does actually beat the Archon, will eventually defend the main. But it looks like Game 5 here in the Wardy Championship lower bracket finals. Classic is going to make the reversal complete. When was the last time someone beat Clem after being down 0-2 at the start of the series? I don't know if this has happened in like 5 years. This is so rare. If someone can look up that stat and let us know after the game when the last one was, that would be... Man, that's so rare. This is crazy. Let us know in the comments if someone can be bothered looking that up. Clem has a decent army supply compared to Classic's. Classic's actually very low on money. Is Classic not transferred to these forward bases? I guess he's just transferring workers now. He needs to get these workers onto these newer bases. Oh gosh. If Clem brings this back... No. If the Zealots keep counterattacking, I think Classic can win this, but he's going to lose this right side base. For some reason there was a few Adepts. I don't know if those were misclicks, warp-ins, or what. Adept's going to try to go in behind that mineral line. Zealot, Archon, Stalker, Colossus going to go for the production. It's a good call. Losing an edge nexus, not as important as losing the Terran production. One barracks goes down, and Orbital is burning. Orbital goes down. Oh man, but the libs! Watch out for those libs. They get some good shots. Oh man, all those Archons got caught as well. Great catch there for Clem. Clem is ahead in army supply, but his production's being breached right now and attacking up that ramp. It's going to be nasty if Psystorm energy kicks in. He's just 2 energy from Psystorm. The Stalkers, the Colossus trying to fight the EMP lands before the Storm can come up. Force Field did already go down on the ramp. Liberators, of course, clearing out some of those units. Vikings helping out. But unfortunately, at the same time, Clem's Planetary on the right side does lose even more workers. Archons and Stalkers get focused. 1 Archon and 1 Stalker go down before the recall is complete. Classic saves some of his units. He's rebuilding 3 Colossus. He has a fresh mining base here and here on the minerals. He doesn't have much gas bank. He has a fresh mineral base there. And he's got, what, 2 gases mining? 3rd gas about to mine out. He's going to take a few more gases. Classic's very gas-starved, but his economy is just so much better. Clem is going to do the trademark single medevac, single lib harass that he's been doing a lot today. If you guys know why he does this, I would love to... Oh, is it to spot? Oh, the medevacs to spot for the Liberator. That's why he does this. So he can move it in because the Liberator doesn't have as much vision anymore. I keep wondering why he's doing that. It just clicked. Nice Bio Viking moving forward. Dude, Classic's usage of Colossus Storm is so much better and more decisive than most players. So sick, dude. Did Pig think Clem lost? I mean, he's losing. He's on 35 workers. He's not dead. Oh, the medevacs. He can't pick up. He can't pick up. No way he saves 3 Marauders. Who the hell manages to do that with that many Stalkers in your face? Crazy guy. It's 3 Colossus. Prism. Extra High Templar. 35 worker economy. How many orbitals? 3. Only 3 orbitals. Clem still has money, but he needs a wizard level engagement. Oh no. He doesn't see the army coming until too late. Sensor Tower only gives him a moment's warning. I really do think that Sensor Tower nerf a couple years ago was such a good change in hindsight. Oh, that is huge. Massive base snipe, 3 SCVs, and a Liberator. That was something Clem could not afford to lose, especially not for free. But look at that, he goes for a big counter. Big counter, he gets 10 probes, snipes a Nexus. Clem is not going to go down without a fight, mate. Snipes the High Templar. Oh, he was going to snipe the High Templar. But by storming, even though there was no detection, he knew where the ghost was, so he dropped the storm to break the snipe. Snipe still ends up eventually going down, but a very clever answer to break the snipe and try and get out of there. That was awesome. It's not over. We've seen Clem make disgusting comebacks from this scenario. Classic, please don't throw this game, man. You've worked so hard to get in this position. He's on 43 Zealots. Normally a bad army, but when you're this far ahead on supply, I actually don't think there's an answer for that for Clem. Especially if he keeps counterattacking. I think 10 of those Zealots should be hitting the natural right now. Or Storm Drop. Storm Drop from the north! Classic's going for it instantly! He gets like triple EMP'd. Clem might have actually spent too many EMPs on that. And Clem tilted out of the game. I thought he was going to hang in there and give us one more fight, man. But I think he just realized he used like too many EMPs, panic clicking them on that Warp Prism. And he was like, oh, whatever, man. Was that 5? I think that was 5 EMPs, guys. I think that's why he was so tilted there. That was 5 EMPs, because he's like, I know I can't let this storm me. Let's break it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's a Marauder shot. I'm not sure if there was an EMP disguised underneath that Marauder shot. I think it was 5 EMPs. He kills the Prism, but he scans the army, and he just looks at it, and he's like, I have 15 Marauders, 9 Marines, 8 Ghosts. Even though he's got enough Vikings to deal with the Colossus, enough Ghosts to deal with the High Templar, he realized at this point, 42 Zealots is literally unkillable for his army. He's just going to get overrun. The Stalkers are going to blink on him. He's screwed. He is dead. And it's lights out. He taps out there, throws in the towel, and what an impressive victory for Classic. I really thought Clem was in a decent spot, but it all came back to that first push. Remember in the previous game where the observers saw Clem was out of position on Ruby Rock, I think it was, or Tido, I think it was Tido, and how he basically went and said, oh, okay, you're out of position. I'm going to jump in there because you're not watching. In this game, it was the Zealots. So it was like, what, 16 Zealots? 17 Zealots on the left. And you can see Clem's well set up to zone this army. He does use a few too many panic EMPs. You could tell Clem's already a bit traumatized from all the storms. He used like 4 EMPs there, and all he did was take the shields off of an Adept and 2 Colossus. He didn't actually hit any of the High Templar. That's already wasteful. You've only got 7 Ghosts. But then these Zealots run in, and that demands a massive split of his army. And you need to send a lot to deal with it. Like, there's no other way. You do need to send a lot. Did he send a bit too much? Maybe. But more importantly, Classic uses this moment to bully his way forward, sacrifices a Colossus, but he splits High Templar off and starts dropping zoning storms. And he should have dropped another one here. Yeah, he finally does drop it. He could have thrown that even deeper. And the Zealots didn't stop and fight. They ran into the main. Clem raised that depot wall. Maybe he has a better shot here. But he just gets so bullied off the hatchery. And Classic does an amazing job of pulling one High Templar forward, pulling the rest back. One forward, the rest back. Only ever exposes one to the EMP. This is what he is exceptionally good at. GG, well played. Classic finds a way. I think we had a few questions answered in this series. I don't think Classic looks like he's able to massively outplay Clem in the early and mid game. The games looked slightly Clem favored, if anything. But he's so good at doing this timing before it gets to late game, or just at the beginning of late game, whatever you want to call this stage of the game, and sniping him right there. In the end game, he looks just as dead as any other Protoss player. And I think if Clem looks at this, he probably just looks at this in terms of, okay, just make sure I'm a bit better with my EMPs, potentially build a few siege tanks or liberators earlier. If he goes 4th command center, goes straight to a handful of range libs, you can't have, like, Classic's not going to be able to push in like this because the libs will kill High Templar, they'll kill Stalkers, they'll kill Colossus. It's just going to be much harder for Classic to push in. And I do think Classic style runs into a brick wall when he plays Liberators. Every time I've seen Maru get to Liberators against him, it's checkmate. Classic looks like he has no idea what to do next, other than maybe try a big recall in the main or something like that. But I think knowing Clem's style, he doesn't want to turtle on siege units and delay his command centers. He wants to play the mobile Viking, Bio, Lib, Ghost style, and he just wants to play it better. I'm almost certain his answer to this series is just play better, EMP better, don't panic EMP, and don't let him get between you and your economy. Make sure you're out front your base so you have room to move back to dodge storm, move back forwards EMP, move back to dodge storm, so you have that dance. The moment you're like this, you have to stand and defend your planetary, which means you're eating storm, and that's where he got wiped. Great play for Classic, and good to see someone unseat Clem. He's been on a bit of a dominant streak, losing some series to hero and max packs, but crushing them in late game, and I don't really see any of them beat him at this stage of the game. They usually have to win a bit earlier. Awesome to see Classic showing some great macro knowledge. All right, guys, so guess what? Twitch chat found it. Wardy Mondays number 12 was the last time when Clem was up 2-0 over max packs, and then 3 games in a row, max packs reversaled him. So it's been over a year since this happened. It is a very rare occurrence. GG, well played. Hats off to Classic there. Catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.